Good evening and welcome to Monday Night on Bad Dog Comedy TV, live on YouTube and Ayaka's Kitchen. Now, please give it up for your warm-up act, a toast.
Hello! Hello, everybody! How are you doing? Okay. Another joke, another day, another joke, another knock joke. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Knock. Who's there? You, Cecilia. It's me. Who, me? Me, Cecilia? Who? You, Cecilia. It's me. Who? Me, Cecilia? Yeah, you, Cecilia. Me, Cecilia. I'm Cecilia. You, Cecilia. Me, Cecilia. Cecilia. I don't know how knock joke works. Okay, that's it. Oh! Apple! Sicily. I'm Sicily. Sicily is an island in the Mediterranean Sea. Sicily. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. You, Sicily. I'm Sicily. We all Sicily. Yay! Hi, I'm Ayaka. Thank you for those hearts. I'm Ayaka. Welcome back to Ayaka's Kitchen, Bad Dog Comedy TV. Bad Dog is a great place to be, great community, great YouTube channel. So support Bad Dog Comedy TV right here, the donation link. If you're able, please consider supporting Bad Dog Comedy TV. And don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe. Subliminal message. Yay, Seann. Seann's doing great, so sending you subliminal messages. Yay! Okay, so yeah, another day, another episode of Ayaka's Kitchen. And guess what? Another great friend joining me today in my kitchen, right here, right now on the other side of the screen. And I'm super excited to introduce you, my friend. And the great culture, great place, great stories to tell. So yeah, let's just get started and just invite my great friend Cecilia.
Hello, Ayaka. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming to my kitchen on the other side of the screen.
That's a gorgeous kitchen. I love the lighting.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to renovate, but I haven't. But maybe one day. But yeah, thank you. I'll take all the credit and then compliments anytime. Yeah, thank you for coming. And yeah, we're gonna talk about Sicily, the island. But your name is Cecilia. I think Sicily is also called like Sicilia in Italian.
Yes,
like locally. There's a similarity. Tell us about that.
So yes, my name is Cecilia, and my family is from Sicily. The spelling is different. I was named after my grandmother, whose name is Cecilia, and in the Sicilian language, you would pronounce it Sicilia. And Sicily, the island, would be pronounced Sicilia because there's an S instead of a C.
Yes, yeah. Like a chi, like a C, like chow or chi, like that.
Yeah.
C. Got it. So you already kind of touched on it, but tell us about your background, please.
Yeah. So I come from Toronto. I was born here. And my parents, they met in Toronto, but both of them were born in Sicily, in the same town, actually, of Catania. Yeah, I know. It's really strange to kind of meet and fall in love far from home, even though you're both from the same place. It's kind of sweet. Yeah, my dad came to Canada when he was about late teens, and his family followed not long after. This was about like the late 50s, early 60s. My mom came with her family when she was a baby, so she grew up right here in Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Both parents are from Sicilia.
Sicilia.
Yes. I'm learning. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So just for the people who may not know the geography well, I know my geography very well.
Mhm.
But just for the people who may not be
Oh, yeah.
familiar with the geography, tell us where is Sicily compared to like this is Europe, this is Italy, like that kind of stuff.
Okay, so Italy is the boot in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. And just below the shape of the boot, there's a ball. It's a little soccer ball called the island of Sicily. And it's just sort of, it's in the Mediterranean. It's north of, I want to say, North Africa. And we're very close to Spain and France as well. And Sicily is kind of a cool location because it's sort of in the middle of the Middle East and Africa and Europe. So historically, there's been a ton of different cultures and countries that have come through and either immigrated or sort of invaded in ancient history as well. So yeah, there's a little bit of everything in that island, which is really cool. There it is.
Thank you, Sean. Amazing. Italian people are so fashionable. Even when they play soccer, football, they wear boots. I guess.
Honestly,
that's
you can't go anywhere without a good heel.
Yeah, it's a tall heel, and that's so interesting. Like I think it's like Tunisia, maybe like Tunisia, those like North African countries. I'm just like trying to guess what they are, but yeah, like it's close to that, right?
Yeah,
So,
Tunisia, Libya, and there is a history of different like immigration also coming from Libya, I think, and Tunisia as well. So there's some cultural influences, and there's influences on the food as well from like North African and Arab like cultures that came through over the years.
That's so interesting. I know like Spain has like something similar, like south of Spain, Andalusia has like a very like Arabic influence in like architecture and stuff like that, probably food as well. Language wise, do you like Sicilian people, Sicilian people speak Italian or like different dialect? Or?
So that's a really interesting question because Sicilian, because Sicily was sort of not annexed or didn't become part of Italy until about the late 1860s.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It sort of had its own thing for a really long time. So you had an influence on the language from Greeks, from their very ancient, like indigenous population, from Romans, from the Middle East, from France as well. So a lot of the Sicilian dialect, which is now kind of considered in UNESCO its own like minority language, is very different from Italian proper. And it's there was a time where Sicilian was kind of like a dominant language, but for a lot of political reasons, a lot of that was sort of kind of taken out of schools, and it has a lot to do with Romans, and there's a lot to do with like anti-fascist stuff and a lot of cultural things like that. But Sicily has its own dialect, and it changes also throughout the different parts of Sicily as well. And this is something I'm still just kind of learning about, that there's a lot of Greek influence, especially in Sicilian, which I thought was really cool.
I guess like as an island, it's pretty big, right? Like the map Sean just showed us. It's not like Toronto and Toronto Island. It's like pretty big. So yeah, I would assume there are different parts of island has different culture probably as well. Oh, that's really, really cool. Then the very, very, very important question is, what is the food that you're going to eat? I'm all about food. If you did not know, this is a show about cooking and kitchen and stuff.
So good. Okay, Italian food is good. Sicilian food is good. You are holding in your hands arancini. which is a Sicilian kind of rice ball. And I believe what you have is it's rice, and it has been with a breadcrumb and egg batter, deep fried. And in the middle is probably, I want to say, a tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese stuffed in the center. Sometimes there's green peas inside. Sometimes it's a meat sauce. It is lovely. It's a lovely little thing. It's a nice little snack that goes with everything.
Did you say snack? This is like a full meal. Wow. Okay, I don't mind snacking, pasta for 3 p.m. afternoon tea with pasta and pizza. I don't mind. I have no complaint. So you said there's something inside. So
Yes.
Let's take a look. I'm gonna cut it open. They are so cute. They remind me of onigiri, which is a Japanese rice ball. And it's we have like rice ball like this, but like we don't deep fry stuff. So this is like even better. Like I love deep fried things. It's
gosh, I think I don't know how many things I have seen that are just dipped in like breadcrumbs and then deep fried. Like it's just the best thing. You can do it with
everything gets better when it's deep fried with breadcrumbs. There's I don't know if this is too risky. Can you see? There's like a little bit of melted cheese in the middle, and I think it's like risotto type thing. I think the rice is flavored.
Yeah, it's usually there's probably like it's probably a bit either egg or just a little bit of like cheese, kind of risotto style. Like I think arancini is something you can do with leftover risotto.
Oh, smart! Yeah. You know what? I heard about. I never like confirmed or researched or anything, but someone told me that the origin of pizza it was like leftover whatever in the fridge or whatever, and they just put on the flat bread and just bake it, and that was the origin of pizza. Is that the case?
You know what? I don't know, but it actually sounds about right. To be honest.
If this is that, then pizza makes sense to be like instead of having fresh things like pizza, like once it's in the oven with like a bunch of amazing cheese and good ingredient, it doesn't matter if it's leftover or not.
Like that's how I make pizza at home. I mean, I do that with pizza. Like that's it. It's whatever's in the fridge. Just throw it in the oven with some cheese, no problem.
See, like you got the Sicilian Italian blood in you. You did not know the origin, but you knew. you do it.
I knew it deep in my soul.
Yeah. Oh, I love Italian food, and I think it's a lot to do with tomatoes and cheese. I love tomatoes and I love cheese, and I like you have lots of rice dishes too, right? Like as an Asian person, I can't get away from rice. I cannot say no to any rice. So, So tell us about more like cuisine in Sicily. Like what else do you eat? Arancini, other than arancini?
So I was thinking a lot about this today before the show, because I was like, I haven't been home for a while, and I started to miss my parents' cooking. I started to miss our little things that we used to do, and like how we would spend our time, and some of the other things like something I love now but I hated when I was a kid was you would do this like pasta with you would make this, it's not really a sauce, it was something you would make with breadcrumbs. Like fried breadcrumbs are a huge deal in Sicily, with capers and olive oil and anchovies, and the anchovies would be kind of like crushed up and creamed a little bit. And then you would put that onto pasta with more breadcrumbs and like Parmesan cheese and then like chilies, like chili oil. That was a huge thing that I couldn't handle as a little kid, but now I love.
I guess it has strong taste, like especially caper. But everything you just explained is like my favorite. I never tried that pasta. What Do you know the name? Does it have a name, or it's your
I
family
don't
special?
know. I think the name is just like pasta with anchovies and breadcrumbs, but in Italian. I think that's it. And yeah, broccoli is a big thing. So when like pizzas in Sicily, like the way my grandfather would make a pizza, it was it was actually more like a really heavily herbed thick bread, kind of like focaccia, and then you would have like olives and herbs and all of that sort of baked into it, and then the top would be olive oil and just like maybe a bit of cheese, but it wasn't like a spread sauce over the top. It wasn't full of toppings. It was very much just like a big thick bread that you would eat.
Okay, interesting. And also, well, I'm gonna be a little controversial here. Olive oil. Everyone from Mediterranean area, they think their olive oil is the best. and I have talked to Spanish people, I have talked to Greek people, I have talked to Turkish people, I have talked to Italian people. They're like, oh, our olive oil is so special. Do you feel that?
Okay, so that I would say then that Sicilian olive oil has the best of all of those, because the Greeks brought olives to Sicily, but like and like the sort of the French used olives as well, and then Arabs also came and like produced olive oil using the cold press method in Sicily. So I'm gonna have to say that Sicilians just kind of took the best of everything and made it just a little bit better, just by combining it all.
That's perfect. What a perfect answer. Everybody go get Sicilian olive oil. That's the best. That's the best. That's so funny. Like sometimes I get on the Uber, and like if there's like a Turkish driver, I said, oh, I've tried Turkish olive oil, and it was like a juice. It was like a drink. I can just have it like a drink, and I make people happy that way. talking about olive oil, and okay, Sicilian olive oil is cold pressed. That's like the best part, right?
Yeah.
I don't
so
even
that's
know
your
the mechanics.
Yeah, if you like if you see on the bottle it says like extra virgin olive oil, it's there's no chemicals and there's no heat applied to it. It's just like pressed olives. And it's very strong, and it's not everybody's taste, and it's not something like you would usually like. We have cheap olive oil that we cook with, but then there's like some really strong stuff that you would put just like at the end of cooking when you're just getting ready to eat. You'd have the table olive oil, or like make it with salads and things like that.
I love it. Does it have like a little sensation in your throat? Like I notice strong olive kind of like make my throat kind of tickle a little.
I don't know. I could see that because it is really strong. There is like there are some olives that can get pretty bitter, and some people really love it. I mean, that's not really my taste, and it's probably just because like we didn't go for like the most expensive stuff because we were cooking all the time, right? So I don't think I've ever had the fanciest olive oil money can buy. Another thing that's like really apparently really special are the tomatoes. So there's like a special type of tomato called San Marzano, and
Marzano?
Marzano, like with a Z.
Marzano.
And they are made they're grown in Sicily, where the soil is enriched with the soil is basically at the base of Mount Etna, so it's volcanic soil.
Interesting.
So the idea is that tomato is the best tomato in the world. So there's a whole like regulatory body for certifying these tomatoes, because there's also like you could get counterfeit tomatoes on the market where you can pay to like see a labeling to get your cheap tomatoes like certified, so you can charge extra. So like there's a whole like fraudulent empire of counterfeit tomatoes in the world too.
Really? Wow. Are they like what kind of shape? Like round or like a little long?
Yeah,
Like
they're the
Roman
like
tomatoes are long.
yeah, they're Roma tomatoes. They're like that like
Okay.
oval shape.
Yeah. Oh, I love tomatoes so much. And
too.
I'm so sorry, I don't want to offend anyone in Canada, but tomatoes in Canada don't taste the same as what I know what tomatoes are. And yeah, oh, I believe it must be so good. Are tomatoes considered vegetable or fruit?
Oh no! Why are you asking me
Oh.
this? They're fruits, right? They're fruits. Tomatoes are fruits. I should know.
I
this.
think it's vegetable. I think people say technically it's fruit, but I grew up tomatoes being vegetables, and it's been my favorite vegetable.
This is like, okay, what about avocado? Where are we at with avocados? Are they fruits
Oh,
or are they
a nut? Is that nut?
They're nuts. Let's do that. Let's go with that. Avocados are basically, they're just giant olives.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. So your grandparents are from Sicily, and then your parents are from Sicily, and you grew up in Toronto. But did you hear all the stories, like histories or like politics or anything like that about Sicily growing up? Were you really familiar with that kind of stuff?
I have a little bit. It's really interesting because I think this is an experience that a lot of children of immigrants have, of kind of getting this like secondhand information about what the culture was like, and I don't know. I was a kid who hated like being raised by a Sicilian family because they were very. Oh yeah, well it was just like, you know, you hear about like old school overprotective parents and things like that. So, you know, I was a girl. I wasn't allowed to do a lot of stuff until I was like, you know, a lot older. So
like
I was
28.
like, yeah, I didn't want to have anything to do with it. But the stories that I heard were really interesting. So my dad actually, he came when he was in late teens anyways, and his you know, his outlook was basically, once I'm here, I'm in Canada, I'm at home now, and I don't need to look back because there's like nothing there for me now. And that was at a time where, you know, there wasn't a ton of opportunities for anyone really in Sicily. You know, there was a lot of corruption. It was there was a civil war in the like just after the like World War II, and that brought a lot of immigrants to North America from Sicily. It was like one very big influx of immigrants to Sicily, from Sicily. So yeah, the stories I actually got weren't that many. You know, there was just a lot of like, no, this is where we live. This is our home.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like your dad was very committed. I'm like moving away from here. I'm never gonna come back. I'm gonna make a new life. I'm gonna meet new people. I'm gonna like create my new life in another country. That's like how he left Sicily.
Yeah.
Wow. What was he running away from? Like you said, there was not many opportunities.
Yeah. So he was. Oh,
wait, you have a friend. Is that Dolly?
That's Dory. That's
Hi, Dolly.
Hello.
Hello.
She's very nosy.
How cute.
She's gonna. Yep, there she comes. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I guess there was definitely a lot of corruption in the government in Italy, and not a lot of support for Sicily specifically, and a lot of that was because you know, there was a lot of like pro-fascists in Sicily, but the reason they were pro-fascism was because, you know, they were getting help. They were getting protection from those leaders. Whereas once like Mussolini was gone, there was really nothing happening for Sicilians. This is the story that I got, you know. And like if anybody has a bit who's actual historians, I would love for you to pipe in and correct me. But yeah, so once, you know, that sort of there was like kind of a power vacuum, and then opened up room for the mafia to come in, sort of say, okay, well, your government and your police are not protecting you. You're a business person who can't. Nobody is helping you maintain your contracts or your deals that you're making with people, and you want to continue on your business. Well, we'll make deals for you and make sure you get paid. And so like a lot of people who were just trying to get by relied on the mafia just to eat, kind of thing. The only problem is the crime and the murdering and all of the other stuff, right? You know, it's not the greatest situation. So you know, for my dad and for like a lot of my family, for them, you know, leaving meant having a different option. So, you know, they were able to come to Canada and start their own business. My dad started his own business. He started off actually in construction. He actually worked on the CN Tower. Like he poured concrete to build the CN Tower. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I've never been to the CN Tower yet.
It's one of those things. Yeah. If you live close to Disneyland, like you don't go there. Like one of those things. Yeah. Wow. So that's very interesting. I know many cultures when there's like government is not helping enough, there's like other people help you, and then the locals really thank those other groups of people, not the government, and sometimes it just works out that way in the flow of the history. Maybe Sicily was one of those, like, yeah. Well, everybody just go watch Godfather and then learn history. Like, that will cover our conversation.
Honestly, it's not too bad. It's one of my dad's favorite films. Like he'll still watch the whole trilogy. Like,
oh really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's like rated like one of the best movies of the whole history of the movies. So yeah. Wow, that's so funny. Okay, and then in Toronto, were you like tied to like Little Italy or like Corso Italia or like anything those places?
Yeah, so my mom grew up in Little Italy, so she had with her family, so she's the oldest in her family, so all of her siblings were born here, but she was the oldest. She kind of like was doing a lot of taking care of her siblings and also doing a lot of translation for her parents, you know, doctor's office, things like that, because she you know, she went to school here and she learned English first.
Wow.
And yeah, so it's cool when she talks about going with her grandfather to Christie Pitts, and you know, she talks about her grandfather, my great grandfather, going and telling telling her grandmother, we're gonna take Cecilia to the park. We're gonna go play in the park so that he could go play cards with his friends.
Oh, just like us, playing Christie Pitt, like now, that's definitely that. Yeah, creating new family, creating new history in the new country, and now generations of like same things happening. That's really, really cool. Are you familiar with like Italian culture? Like I know like Italian people created so many like amazing classical music or like Italian opera or even like fashion or that kind of stuff. Have you talked about that kind of stuff with your family?
I am sad to say that I don't have a ton of Italian cultural knowledge. I am aware that there's a lot of lovely classical music out there. I am aware of a gentleman named Pavarotti. I heard he's very good. Yeah, but not really. we even like I guess it's just because probably because my mom grew up in Canada and like my brothers all grew up in Canada. We just sort of took on a lot of Canadian culture. And my dad too, he was young. And one thing he always told me was that like all the pop music he was into in Italy, didn't realize it until he came to Canada that they were just Italian versions of American pop songs.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I hear like there's like a balance you have to have of like, okay, this is where I'm from and I'm gonna pass it on to my children. But if it's too much of that, then like they cannot adjust to the Canadian culture or the language or the school. But if it's too much of Canadian, then like you kind of don't talk about your background. And I think that happens a lot in Toronto. Is what I hear. You feel that?
Yeah, I do feel that I do think that my parents had the idea of giving us sort of letting us integrate into the culture as much as possible while still maintaining some of the traditions. And I think there was a lot of the traditions that they actively didn't want to keep. So like, my family was, kind of came from more of like a Catholic background, and they sort of actively moved away from that as I grew up. So that was an interesting thing when I encountered a lot of other Italian friends or made new friends like in high school and university, and realized that like how Catholic everyone was, and everyone got their communion and their confirmation and everything, and I was like, why didn't I get that? But I mean, I appreciate that now. So we had a lot of things like Christmas, Easter, all of that stuff, but we kind of did it our own way. We did sort of had our own traditions for our own family, which I thought was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because like I'm sure many immigrant families, they want the children to have that like religious part of their life, like the same way, or like just like, okay, this is how I grew up and I have to carry on with like this religion, and not forcing, but like without children knowing that there are choices that like they're already Catholic or already something, I guess. Yeah, that's very interesting, that balance.
Absolutely. And that's something I really appreciate, the kind of conversations I've had with my mom and dad about religion. And we've argued about religion. We do still. But it's always been framed as, well, this is what I believe. This is how I learned it. But it's really going to be, it's whatever you decide is your choice. And this is just how it works for me. And it's nice. It's nice to see, to have those conversations, and also to see like where my parents struggle with that tradition versus like what's new and modern, and say, oh yeah, well, this is just what we thought, but that's not really it anymore, and that's okay. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great. Like they're open to like different opportunities for their children, or like for themselves too, different opportunities, different chances of like life. Oh, that's beautiful. And seems like you're really close to your parents. Like I don't think I have ever like talked about religion in that kind of sense with my mother, or that's like really cool. Like you're really open about like conversations like that in the family.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that, and it isn't without its struggles. But I think at the end of the day, we can have a pretty good academic conversation about that stuff.
Nice.
Which is nice. Yeah,
beautiful. Okay, as we are talking, I rolled sushi. Maybe you can see a little bit. And
so nice.
Here is the sushi I roll. It's like so funny, like rice rolled with rice, rice and rice.
So gorgeous.
I think there's like a red sauce on it too. It came with it, so it must go with it. But I'll try the sauce later and see how it tastes like. But Cecilia, do you want to name this sushi? How would you call it?
Oh my gosh. Darn.
Arancini roll.
Arancini maki.
Arancini maki. Maki kind of like sounds like Italian as well. I feel like Japanese and Italian have like a very similar pronunciation with vowels always, like for consonant followed by vowel always. I feel like Arancini maki. Yay!
Arancini maki. That looks so good.
It looks good. It smells nice too. Yeah, I want to try this, but you know what? I'm gonna try the sauce a little bit first because I'm scared if it's like really spicy or like you never know. But do you have any idea what those sauce?
That one is probably just a regular ragu, so it's probably not going to be very spicy. It's probably just going to be like classic Italian tomato sauce.
Some Italian food are really spicy to me, so
yeah. There's sometimes it's heavy on the chili.
Oh yeah, it's spicy.
It's spicy. Oh no! Really spicy.
I love spicy food. I love spicy food, but it was a surprise. Nice. Okay. Cecilia, I have braces on now, so I cannot have the whole sushi. But I'm gonna try this like arancini with like this sauce. I'm so excited. So I don't want people to hear me chew.
Okay.
Can you serenade us? That's a musical term. Serenade us with like Italian things. Italian cantata.
I'm gonna try it. So this is from my dad because he is a huge Eros Ramazzotti fan, and he's like an Italian pop singer from the 90s. And I'm gonna see if I can remember one of his songs, and it's gonna be bad. So get ready.
Itadakimasu.
Okay. Tra bordi di periferie, dove tranno vanno avanti più, dove l'aria è popolare, è più facile se sognare che guardare in faccia la realtà. Quanta gente giovane va via a cercare più di quel che ha, forse perché pugni presi a nessuno li ha maesi e tanto fan manco di più. That's our man. Isn't he a heartthrob? He's such a heartthrob.
That was amazing, Cecilia. I'm shocked. You just went for it.
Honestly, I haven't sung that in years, and I remember singing it all the time. Like I think there is a recording of me at like 8 years old, still like on cassette tape of me singing that song.
How cute! I'm sure I heard you sing before in like improv and stuff, but like I've never heard you sing like that. That's amazing. You have beautiful voice. Beautiful.
Thank
you. Wow. What are you singing about? What's the lyrics about? What is it? Love song?
It is a lot. Well, yeah, everything he sings is like a poppy love song, right? So I actually don't know what any of the words are. I learned how to sing it before knowing any Italian. So like I could tell you it is basically about, you know, like unrequited love, like because all of his songs are about unrequited love.
Many Italian songs are about love, I feel. All the operas that I know is like, opera is always like love and like this, always someone dies. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I'm seriously, you should sing more.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you say so. I'll give it a go. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, I was listening very carefully, but I was also tasting very carefully. It's so good. This arancini. Arancini is like
Oh yeah.
so good. I just remembered first time I went to Italy. I mean, the last time I went to Italy. For only once I went to Italy. I caught a cold and I had to like stay in a hotel for like 3 days and like not having much fun. But there was bakery or like a cafe or some sort of like small like eating place downstairs, and they had arancini, and that was the first time I had it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so good. And I ate like I only ate arancini for like 3 days straight.
Oh my gosh.
I was feeling my little nostalgic moment
that's
of
lovely.
Italy,
so
that
nice
I
to
was
hear.
sick.
Aww.
Yeah, but it's so good. And this arancini, we got it from Chibo Wine Bar on King Street. If anyone in Toronto watching, and if you're wondering how this tastes like if I'm telling the truth that how good it is, if you want to check out, support local business, support local restaurant, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. So it's a success.
Wonderful.
Great sushi, great story. Arancini is amazing. Hello, Ayaka. Oh my gosh. This is Phil. He's in Australia. What time is it there, Phil?
Whoa.
You're watching live from
Go
Australia.
to bed, mister.
Amazing. Yeah. So this is very, very delicious. How do you say delicious in Italian? Like, I feel like improv people always make fun, like, oh, buonissimo, like, that kind of stuff. Is this true? Like,
honestly,
it's
delicioso.
Delicioso, yes.
Delicioso. Yeah.
Delicioso. Arancini. The arancini is delicioso.
Yeah, you got it.
That's all my Italian knowledge. Ciao, Bella. Oh, hi, Phil. You should be working 9:42. It's okay. Watching this, you're learning so much about Sicilian culture. This is studying. It's working, same thing.
Makes a great breakfast anyways, I'm sure.
Yes, I bet. I'm all for like having heavy, deep fried risotto in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind it. With a little bit of Nutella on top.
I was just gonna say, what would make a great dessert, and this is I was thinking about, when we were talking about what to do for this, I was thinking about it. What would make a great dessert and also a great breakfast is your favorite Nutella,
That's
which is
you.
Completely empty because I saved it. It is an empty jar of Nutella because these don't last, and this is the thing I will eat by the spoonful when I'm just feeling kind of gloomy. My grandmother buys jars of Nutella for all her grandkids on Easter. Like that's she goes to Costco, get the big jars, sends them off to all the kids.
That's the core part of your culture. Italians being proud of Nutella. And that one has like a Canadian flag or like maple on it.
It does.
That's you. You are Nutella. Nutella jar is you. You are that Nutella jar.
I am Nutella. I am a Canadian Italian. That is correct.
Amazing. Okay, delicioso episode here. I learned a lot about Sicilian culture, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and experience in your own stories. That was so interesting. Thank you so much. It was delicioso.
Thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time talking about stuff and singing Eros Ramazzotti. And now I'm gonna have to make sure my dad sees this. So
he'll be so proud of you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so it was another episode of Ayaka's Kitchen. So here's the donation link, everybody. If you're able, please support Bad Dog Comedy TV. Bad Dog is a great place. Now, there's a proof that it's watched everywhere in the world. There's people watching from Australia right now. So let's support Bad Dog Comedy TV. It's a great place to be. So watch all the other episodes of other shows as well. There's so many other shows. And thank you, Seann. Seann. Seann is the technical director of this show, and he's the one does the best job. That like I'm always like, am I missing something? Oh, I don't have soy sauce. I don't have knife. And then he's like, do you have microphone? That kind of stuff. So he's helping me so much. Yay! Oh, that's spill. Okay, and yeah, thank you, Badok, thank you, Coko, and thank you everybody for watching. And hope you learned something new, and then hope you are hungry so you can support Chibo Wine Bar, local restaurant, support local business, support local restaurant, and eat good food, and have a great life. So yeah, Cecilia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ayaka.
Thank you. Oh, that's it. Is that like a Sicilian goodbye?
Yes, we do the 2-cheek kiss. Ready? Is it?
Yeah. Oh no, same way. Oh no.
Okay, ready?
Mwah.
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 Okay, that's great. Okay, so and you say ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella.
Ciao, Bella. Ciao, Bella.